Hello, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Chris Ho, a skin cancer physician here in Brisbane. Have you noticed how vitamins seem to rise and fall on waves of excitement? One year it's vitamin C for colds, another it's vitamin D for mood and bones. And right now, vitamin B12 is riding a wave again. Injections for energy, bottles promising focus, drinks with B12 on the label. But is it true? But is this the first time B12 has been oversold? Or are we simply watching another echo of a story that keeps coming back? Let's start with the story and trace it back. You'll see how B12, also called Cobalamin, began as a medical breakthrough, how it turned into a super tonic for tiredness, how it settled down in clinical use, and how it's being marketed again in new ways. And along the way, you'll discover what's real, what's exaggerated, and what's worth your attention. So imagine living at a time when diagnosis of pernicious anemia meant certain death. That was the early 20th century. It was the reality. Then in the 1920s and 30s, Rickeys and colleagues isolated the red crystalline compound later named vitamin B12. For the first time, doctors had a way to treat and reverse the illness. Pernicious anemia became treatable and a cure. The breakthrough won a Nobel Prize in medicine, just like vitamin A. You can picture the excitement from despair to hope almost overnight. Wave 2, the supertonic years of vitamin B12. But once something is powerful, people began to wonder, could it help everyone? Soon, vitamin B12 injections were promoted not just for anemia, but as general tonics, pick me ups. You may have heard about it, about going to the doctor for a quick injection, which is still done today when they felt tired or run down. That was B12's second wave, real medical value blurred with exaggerated promises. Later, things calmed down. Doctors reserved B12 for genuine deficiency, and it became a routine part of practice, steady, reliable, and life saving when needed, but without the grand claims. For decades, that was the quieter phase of its story. And now, here we are again. You might know someone today who goes for regular B12 injections, sometimes through a naturopathic clinic, to feel sharper or more energetic. You've probably seen B12 listed on an energy drink label. You may even have taken a supplement yourself, just in case. The marketing sounds convincing. Who doesn't want more energy? The reality is simpler. If you are deficient, replenishing B12 transforms your health. If you're not deficient, those extra doses doesn't add superhuman energy. The quick lift from drinks is mostly sugar and caffeine. What does B12 do for the body? So let's look at B12. What B12 truly does. Yes, it's part of the B complex family, which work together like a team. B12 helps make healthy red blood cells and therefore treat pernicious anemia, a disease of red blood cells, especially if B12 is deficient. It supports your nervous system by protecting the nervous system, the myelin sheath that lines the nerves. And it is essential for DNA synthesis. Without enough, you may feel tired, weak, forgetful, and notice tingling in your hands and feet. And deficiency is still with us today. You may know an older person who has been told they are low in vitamin B12. Absorption naturally drops with age. If you're on long term metformin for diabetes or stomach acid blockers, levels can fall. Vegans need supplements because B12 is found in animal foods. People who have had stomach or bowel surgery, like bariatric surgery, often need lifelong B12. And the symptoms creep up: fatigue, memory changes, nerve tingling. A simple blood test is all you need, and that can make the diagnosis. A quick note for skin: B12 isn't the big skincare vitamin, that's more B3 and B7. But deficiency can still leave traces. Cracks at the corner of the mouth, rashes, even pigmentation changes can show up. It's another way the B vitamins tie back into visible health. So, what do we see if we step back? Discovery and miracle, the supertonic years, the quiet clinical phase, and now a modern wave of energy boosters. So each time the promises sound fresh, but if you listen carefully, you'll hear the echo of a very old story: excitement, exaggeration, then perspective, then excitement again. So next time you see B12 advertised, whether it's a clinic window or a bottle or in an energy drink, you'll have the bigger picture. If you're deficient, B12 is essential. If you're not, more is not necessarily better. That's the steady truth. If this gave you some clarity, pass it on to a friend. Drop a comment below about your experience with B12 and stay with me, because in our next conversation we'll turn into vitamin C, and another nutrient which has its own rise. You'll know vitamin C, the cold vitamin. It has its own exaggerations, its own place in the bigger family of vitamins. Thank you for listening.